Alright, let me get into view. What's up, guys? I'm back. I never really left, actually. I'm in the same exact spot as I am last time. And I'm rocking a spaghetti western shirt, but not just any. Sergio Leone's for a few dollars more. If you guys know Clint Eastwood and all those cool western, Italian western films, spaghetti westerns they call them. I'm not going to talk about them, actually. Nope. Just a reference, actually. I'm going to talk about freaking Star Wars. If anybody knows anything about me, I'm a Star Wars nerd. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's because I grew up on it, and I still have things around like Toys R Us and KB Toys, so the collectibles. You know. Anyway, it speaks for itself. Actually, look, check this out. This is a freaking ship. Look, who has this? Huh? Look at this. Let me see if I get it. There we go. Look at that freaking ship. I have that. That's right. And it is dusty. I'm not sure when I got that, but I got it. Not like I was trying to prove a point or nothing. Anyway, I'm going to talk about Star Wars. There's like 1,000,001 reviews of that, right? It's been done to death. I mean, no, it's not because, Disney Plus is pushing their recent Star Wars stuff. Yeah, it's a very exciting news. But a lot of people do a lot better work than me when it comes to reviewing or deep diving into Star Wars mythology and lore and all that stuff. My question is, it's a big question. I figure since Marvel's doing a bunch of what if stuff, I'm going to do a what if on Star Wars. That's right. What if Star Wars was rated R? Pow! It's not too hard to imagine. It wasn't too long ago where Quentin Tarantino was actually talking about doing Star Trek rated R. I'm not sure how that would have turned out. I'm not sure how Star Wars would have turned out. But, I'm not sure who would have directed, probably. I mean, George Lucas had a big envision universe and who did what kind of deal. It's kind of the brainchild, and he would release his minions to do his bidding, and it turned into gold, pretty much. But, I don't know. Anyway, before I go any further with that, I just want to talk to you about the influences. It's not what you think, Not all answers lie above. Meaning space, George Lucas being a fan of spaghetti westerns, the Man with No Name trilogy, the early Clint Eastwood stuff, a few dollars more, all that stuff. Yeah. Also, if you're into samurai films, another big influence on Star Wars, Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai, and a bunch of other samurai films he did. Like I said, I don't want to take away too much of this video and dive into that, but I'm just saying these two monumental genres definitely had a huge impact, and you could see it actually. Vader to me comes off as a samurai. I think that was like the reference material that was used, and just the way the planets are arranged, it looks like a kind of like a western, in a sense. But yeah, that's what made two very serious genres helped create Star Wars. Star Wars is very original, same when it came out, but also had those influences or big influences, and it shows. So if you wanted to, I'm just saying, throwing it out there, maybe he probably could have just said, you know what, my fan base are adults, and just rated R. What would have it looked like? Rated R Star Wars. I mean, yeah, it was a question. I mean, you can't really do what you did in the late 70s, 80s. That was like maybe like PG-13 and do it now. I just wouldn't pass. Just no. Like I said, but not so much of changing the film itself. The question pretty much nitpicks at the battles, the what's going on the inside. So obviously, Star Wars pits a rebel alliance against an empire. The empire was already established. So think of like Rome, fighting Carthage, right? They kind of stand on similar ground, sort of, kind of. Rome being, the greater, and Carthage, kind of always being there, but, not as, tough, but you know how that turned out. So they kind of like, battle each other, whatever. Anyway, I forgot where the heck I was going with this, but anyway, So the Rebel Alliance, Luke, Solo, and the rest of the crew band together to fight, Vader and his empire, the Emperor, um, and we all know who wins. But if it was rated R, maybe we could go kind of in between the scenes here. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if the Rebel Alliance weren't so nice? I mean, after all, they are rebels. Me myself, I've always kind of rooted for the underdog. The one that was less likely to win. Um, that's who I was kind of wanted to see on top. But when you take away that power structure, it becomes a power vacuum. If you don't got someone decent to put in that, and that's why a lot of revolutions today don't work out like they did back in the day. Where you had a charismatic, leader type step in the picture to oust some tyrant. Sometimes it doesn't really work. Sometimes it's the same person who gets in office after kicking out the old one. You know, so what if we saw real insurgency, I don't know, bombs going off in Imperial factories or something, deep down covert op stuff, sabotage, you know, terrorism on both sides. You think people would change their mind? I know the Empire is dark, and we have the Sith to kind of thank for that, but we have the Jedi. So and this is even about them. I don't want to kind of include them in this conversation because the Sith and the Jedi are their own thing. The Sith barely being human, even by appearance wise, and the Jedi kind of these otherworldly beings that could levitate and blow stuff up with their mind. In fact, I think both of them could do that. But I could see why they would be kind of worshipped, and both have different morals. So you see the kind of conflict there, what draws these people in, and this conflict looks very similar to name any battle, pretty much from the 21st century down. Uh, so yeah, I definitely think there would have been a lot more. I don't think George Lucas would have went full grindhouse, but it would have been more, I guess, vivid, probably graphic. If you had that in mind, I'm not saying this would have happened. It's like a what if, if they went in that direction. I doubt it would never, because I mean, a lot of kids watch this stuff, and it has a huge fan base because of that, and the rest is history. Star Wars doesn't need to be touched any more than it already is. Trust me. It's fine. I like the direction that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are pushing it. I hope they keep doing what they're doing and select really good, able-minded directors to carry that. So hey. Anyway, yeah, that would be something. I guess you could kind of question a lot of films. I'm trying to think of a decent PG-13 film. If it had that extra rating, I don't know, something Disney would have popped out. I forgot if Lord of the Rings, or I know Disney didn't pop that out. But I'm just hypothetically saying something fantasy-driven that's big and epic. Like the Hobbit series, or the last Harry Potter films. Imagine if they were rated R. Now those I could see getting really dark really fast, and all over the thing. I mean, I don't think either of the films I talked about would be over sexualized, even though they can. They probably wouldn't, because it just wouldn't fit. They would have relationships, but people are there for entertaining, seeing things get blown up. Space travel, or in Harry Potter sense, spells being casted. But to have that extra leeway and another rating to play with, it's not controversial, but just to think what kind of direction that would have ended up, and how that would have kind of changed it some way. Major, not major, really, because it's fine. Both series, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Harry Potter, definitely fine on their own, stand on their own 2 feet, perfectly fine. Nothing needs to be done. But just to think to have a serious rating would have changed the audience. The storylines have been different. Would have been, like I said, more rambunctious graphic violence or, adult situations. Who knows? But it's, to think about it, and what kind of audience would that have opened up to? A different audience, kept the core audience, but definitely, like, these people now could appreciate it. Like, they appreciate it a little bit, but now, like, the 50 and over, like, oh yeah, I could relate to this. I was in a war, or something like that. I don't know, but I don't know. It's always interesting to think. I mean, I guess the same could be, even though there's a what if, but it's different situations, pretty much, character changing in Marvel's Avengers sense of what if scenarios. If this character was now in this character's shoes, I'm just saying changing the state of the film by opening up to a more adult rating. See what would happen with that. Obviously, I can't do this on my own. No one can. But if we could, think if this character could play Iron Man, then think of what if the Avengers had all R ratings. Like, what's the limit of violence they could push, or situations they could push, And if you see them today, it feels like they want to do it, but they know when to cut off that. And I see that with things like The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian still has that Star Wars fun, but it's very approachable to an adult audience, and they can get it. They know what's going on, And it's not. I mean, it's like I said. Yes, it is kid friendly, but someone grown could also enjoy it. I mean, 9 times out of 10, usually, an R rating kind of gets in the way to go to a broader audience. But for, horror fanatics like myself, it's usually like a curse. You don't want the next, I don't know, Death Wish coming out PG-13. It's like, what? It's got to have an R rating. Bottom line, if you're going with that type of genre and movie, you want to push for an R, I guarantee you the payoff would be monumental. Risky, or a lot of people kind of do the theatrical release. Then when a DVD comes along, they do like a unrated director's cut, adding footage that they couldn't show to general audiences. A lot of people usually do that too. But yeah, one has to wonder, movies that have the rating for a reason for a general audience. Imagine if it was pushed all the way up to R. That would be something to talk about. And I hope I kind of left you guys with more questions than answers at this time. Maybe you could fill in the gaps. You're all capable of doing some critical thinking, so think about it. Your favorite childhood movie. Okay, now that's wrong. Movie that everyone could enjoy, family film that had an R rating. So take away that PG-13, put an unrated R rating. How would that have changed the film? Any one of your movies. If you want to get back to me and, let me know what you think, comment below. I'm dying to hear what you guys come up with. If not, I hope, you go home tonight and talk amongst your friends and say, oh yeah, man, Mrs. Doubtfire, that was rated R. Right? Just saying. Alright, guys, thanks for listening. As always, I hope you're staying safe, staying healthy, and I will see you next time. All right, peace.